Hi, this is Merlin. Today I'm just gonna talk about what I learned today. Um, hold on. So like, yep, no, no, that will be fine. So, so like yesterday and like about this week, I am implementing like authentication system, and the hard part was the proxy and those kind of things, the cookie, but also that. But I think the the other the hard thing I faced was how to revalidate, how to redirect from the protect page or not protect page, um, because I'm just using Next.js for the client, just just the front end part, not the back end. We have separate servers, so I don't want to put some kind of server logic on the Next.js. So I try to put all of the client-based feature in here, but the thing is that like some kind of like protect route is kind of required to use the React hooks like a use effect, but the bad thing is the use effect hook is really slow. Even it's slow and so I'm using worker thread to fetch the access token over here, because the reason why I use worker thread is to not the user to see our access token value or some kind of um, value of it. So we're using access token. We're fetching access token via worker thread, and when it's done, worker thread send back um, the access token of the token, and when it receives, we don't store access token to the local storage or whatever. We just check there is access token is valid, or if it's valid, just store us the true or false. Um, I think this part, this hooks, is really gonna help you to understand. So this is just us storage. So us status storage, and it just we are just creating a local storage, but for the some kind of state of it. And it's very simple. And but the interesting part you have to understand is here. Like here, there is some such a thing as like I forgot the word of it. Toggle. Yeah, it was like Atom toggle storage. So what is Atom toggle storage is does it's just like making a blink, making some kind of toggles on the storage. Example, like dark mode is gonna be toggled. If you toggle the dark mode, the local storage the value is gonna change. So that's kind of thing in here. But I look at this technology into like kind of really different. If it is toggle, I can refresh it. So which means that I don't have to. The bad thing about like using worker thread as worker thread is the I can easily get the value of the access token. So, but the easiest way is um, making the worker thread call in every single API. But that will be really very bad because this means that every API call requires the the every API calls makes the access token that will be really hard because there's a lot of users they're gonna be like really bad for the server. So what I did was I make the worker thread, but also so if it's like token here, and I get this handshake. So after handshake, I get the value of it, but I store this after I store this like set token here. I put tokens value on this part API client. So API client, it's just the some kind of like API calls, the abstraction of the API calls. It's just a kind of library thing. Uh, so I put it here and I put it header on it. So that's kind of different part. So rather than rely on some kind of like local storage or like global state, I rely on the worker thread and moreover I use the local storage, but only for the storing the like status of it, if it is true or false. And also I implemented toggle based toggle based the storage, which makes me to refresh if the access token is invalid. Example, if you look at the uh, here, wait, hold on. So if you look at here, like API client part, you might see this if access token is no. So there's a lot of reason to access token is no. If the server is down, or if the access token is already the expiration time is already passed. So that could be the value could be no, and if it's no, I refetch it. So that is the toggle part. Revalidate all status function. So that means that I get it, and I reset this revalidate all status, and I get the refresh button, refresh value of it. So that's very simple. And after, when you get the access token, you put it into header. We don't store access token as some kind of like variable here. We just put into headers as a string. And if you look at use as is just like um, it's just like this types of hooks, but like but the it's better than use effect, because use effect is like it's better than like putting some kind of like API calls in here, because this is really the the status. We are not relying on some kind of access token value of it. We are relying on the status of it. So that's gonna be really better of it. And also, if you look at the provider, it's really easy. You just get authenticated value, and if it's authenticated, return children. If it's not, go to the loading page. So let me give you an example of here. This part, this page is login page. If you click the sign in with Google, it will redirect to the Google authentication. And if I log in with my account, and when you go to the project route, you just go, yeah, you just go to the curriculum page, and it's naming it Verifine. But this sign in with Google button isn't really sign in with Google button. I put the logout feature API calls in this part. So if I click this, the logout gonna be happen, the cookie is gonna be deleted, and access token is gonna be no. And yeah, it's really fine. And after we refresh it, it goes to the login page. And when we're trying to go to the curriculum page again, we go back to the login page. And the reason why I like these steps is I use the use effect hook, and I put all of the worker thread API calls in this part, and that costs really like so much API code than this part. And also it was really hard to track of it. I mean, like there's actually the state is, there's three state: loading, and the value is succeed. You're already get the value, and you fail to get the value, but you have to put some kind of loader state on it. But if you rely on the like use effect, and like the API calls in use effect, it's very hard to put the the loader page. And also it's really slow. It's really slow. That is really slow, and I really don't like it. Even though I trying to go to curriculum page, it's kind of instant. But if I was like using the worker thread API calls in use effect like before, it takes like more than 2 seconds of this part. So this is why I really don't like this kind of I really don't like the using access token state, like putting all of the business logic into use effect and making redirect. I really don't like it, because it's really easy, but there is always the trade-off on it. So this is it. Have a nice day, and see you next time. Bye bye.